This is the STEAM podcast, Strength Through Expressive Arts Mentoring. No matter where you are in your journey as a musical artist, you're always looking to move forward, but you might not know what's next for you. STEAM is about what's next. We're going to give you ideas, conversations, solutions. You have the confidence. This is about strategy. Hello and welcome to the STEAM podcast. Very exciting day for us here at STEAM, Strength Through Expressive Arts Mentoring. This is episode 01. This episode is really an introduction to who we are here at STEAM and what we do and what we are going to be doing in this podcast. My name is Thomasina Winslow. STEAM is a program that I have created for youth to imbue a certain kind of confidence and life skills utilizing the study of music. And the youth that I serve in this capacity are incarcerated youth and children at risk. STEAM also does not have to be limited to youth who are at risk or incarcerated, but it is a strength-based program, meaning that we focus on your strengths as a child learning music, or your strengths as musicians who want to move into the music industry and get yourselves started as a musician of note. It takes time, and we want to share. We'll be sharing some things that you can use, not step by step. You know how that works. You get loaded with a bunch of steps, write the steps down, and you get confused. We're talking about philosophies, ways of thinking, ways of acting, ways of performing that will help you get where you want to get. We've gotten where we want to get. I'm very happy with where I've gotten, but there are things that I've experienced that I really, truly don't want anyone else to have to experience. The negative things, that is. The positive things, though, I want to be replicatable throughout any musician's career. And we are 5, 4, 3, 2. We are here. We are here.
Here we are.
Yes.
Yay.
This is Thomasina Winslow, and I'm here with Hilary Schrauf.
Hello.
My co-host here. She will be with us most of the time. Sometimes she won't be with us. Sometimes she will, but most of the time she will. And we're going to discuss different things that have come across our tables and through our students and fellow musicians that we have been fortunate enough to make contact with, and give you some ideas, conversations, and solutions, like we said, to help you move forward. And I think we should probably just get right to it.
I think you're right. Let's go for it.
Let's
Don't waste that half-hour time like trying to sell people.
We're going to tell you how we're going to tell you when we tell you
and
how
then
we're going to tell you.
Then you could pay $29.99 for these.
Yeah, for these ideas that you have to wait for.
Yeah, and that never really materialize.
Yeah,
we won't do that to you. We promise.
We won't, but
we'll
we
give
will
you something
have
useful.
That's right. But we will have some levity in between our points.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure. The question that I want to talk about today is one that comes from students that I have, fellow musicians who are really just starting to recognize that what they have to offer is a viable product. And also they just love their music and they've been performing it for people, but they want to expand. And the question is, how do I get the recognition from my own community? How do I get started utilizing my own community? I don't seem to have that recognition from my community. How do I gain that? And that's what we're going to talk about today. One of the things that you can do when you enter into a community is, am I a part of this town, or, I'm saying community, but what I mean is town or city, county, region, where you are, and where you have landed. So you have people around you, and a lot of times you really can't answer those things without giving some example. So I'm going to give you examples as I go, and Hilary is here to talk about her part, because we come from the same community, the same town. So
yeah, we're neighbors.
We're
actually.
neighbors. That's right.
We're
And we're also
lucky.
Yes, very fortunate that what we do has been recognized at the level of being nominees in our individual fields through our region.
Yeah.
So we are nominated artists as well. So it's definitely a standard that we have, and a fortunate situation that we have. So that kind of lends itself to, well, if someone says, what makes you think you can tell us? We have some experience that we would like to share with you. One of the first things is to get to know the people in your community, in your town, and let them know that you are a musician and that you are interested in bringing what you have to the community and to individuals. You may have a recording that you want to share. The main thing is you are sharing what you have with everyone. And you want people to understand that. And also you want to participate in what's going on in the community. You just can't be out there and not really let people see you anywhere else than where you want to be seen.
Yeah, that's true. You've got to get some. You have to. Look, you probably all know this to some extent, but it never hurts to hear it again.
Right.
I think you kind of get. It can get a little bit like you get too focused on wanting to get that exposure and forget that, like, it's helpful if they see you on voting day at town hall, or like, in the local coffee shop, or, in the grocery store, just being yourself,
right.
So you kind of have to seek people out a little bit, I think, on their own ground. And we have a unique town where we don't really have a town center. So it can be a little bit challenging to find ways to be involved in the community. We kind of create our own opportunities here. But,
yes.
Does that make sense?
It makes absolute sense. You could be busy in another area of your region outside of your town, the main city. We're on the outskirts of the main city here in upstate New York, but there are places that you can perform that people can come and see you. So let's start with the first thing. Invite people to your performances if you have performances going on. And how do you get those performances? Now, there has to be some way that people can see you show your skills or perform for them. You may have a place. Well, let's name some places. There's the local library, wherever that is, or church,
local park, if they have a summer program.
Right.
Senior center.
Mm-hmm.
Most every town has one of those.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. If that doesn't work, or you don't see things that you can readily get in on, now we're getting to the brass tacks. Create your own.
Mm-hmm.
Create your own and invite people to come and see you and connect to other musicians. It's hard to have a community of one. You can't what is it? You can't clap with one hand.
That's right.
So,
If a hand claps in the forest, I don't know. No,
yeah,
that's not it.
yeah. Right. You have to. I'm saying have to, but it would benefit you to look up other musicians in your town or your community and see what they are up to now. When I started this, let's give you an example. We just finished our second annual festival in our town. Now, if I hadn't made those phone calls last year, there wouldn't be a second annual. So you need to call people, get involved with people, especially other musicians who have been doing their thing, and see if you can join in with them. We were talking about off mic. We were talking about how there's two ways of thinking of community, and one is in general, and you can help me out with this one, Hilary.
Mm-hmm.
In general, the listening community.
Yeah, there's the audience, and then there's the other musicians, and they're both really important to tap into. So, you're sort of going around getting to know people. Like I always recruit people at the local swim class at the town pool in the summer. I'm in the pool. We're all doing water aerobics. I'm like, hey, we're playing it, blah blah blah, tomorrow night. You guys want to come? And we've got some fans. Not everybody does, but they know that I'm a musician.
Yes,
and they know that I'm doing something, and that kind of it has that seems crazy, but so you can do that. And then also when you run into other musicians, you want to just sort of like, hey, what are you doing? And, you connect up. It's almost like, this is going to sound really stupid, but like Facebook in real life.
Yeah, yes.
You want to do that face to face,
And talking about the face to face, social media as opposed to face, we talk about being an influencer, being a creator. There's something to, there's an important part of this in the live music portion of the music industry. So be a live influencer. In other words, get your music in front of people where they can look in your face. They can hear what you do and they can see your show personship.
Yep.
And you can develop that part too. Without any specifics, now we are very interested in knowing what you would like to know or your specific situation. And as we develop in this podcast, we'll be opening up the forum a little bit more to include questions on specific items.
Yeah, questions from you. So you can send us your questions, your ideas, your situation to steam77cast, CAST, at gmail.com, and we might even include some of those things on our future podcasts. We would love that. We want to hear from you. We also want feedback.
Yes.
Yeah.
So with that, what I'd like to do is just to give you a word of encouragement, and that is you can start with your community, your town, your city, and to let them know that let's say the town's name is Akronville or something, let people know that you are an Akronville-based artist, Akronville-based musician, so that you're not necessarily stuck in that word local. You want to let people know where you are based, and region-based, city-based, state-based, New York State-based, so that you can feel free. Those words, I think, and I haven't heard this from anyone else, but those words, I think, will help you to get out of feeling constricted into one area and let yourself go out, let your community see you, let them support you, and really share yourself with them. Because your town or your community is definitely willing to be proud of you. You've heard these terms before, hometown girl, hometown boy does good, and they want to be a part of your success.
Yeah, and you can be a part of growing the identity of the area that you live in.
That's right.
You can. Yeah, you can be a source of pride.
Yes,
and be a part of that pride.
They will brag about you, and they're willing to look at what you're doing and say, oh, what are you doing? Oh, that's pretty good. You want that kind of narrative around yourself, but you also want to let them know that you are there for them, not just for their support.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So, in establishing yourself and being out and about, you also probably want to give a little bit of yourself and your talents to help support community undertakings or community fundraising or things like that.
That's right.
Yeah.
And you will be asked. The thing about that is to say yes whenever you can. There's no reason really to say no.
And bring a business card.
And bring your business cards.
That's
yes.
Right.
That was the other suggestion that I nearly did not mention. But get some business cards, network cards with your name, what you do, and contact information, ways to contact you. You have an advantage now because anyone hearing me has the advantage of social media, and you probably use it already, but let people know ahead of time when you're going to be somewhere, or even just have a discussion with the community and say, oh, I didn't, if they say, I didn't know that you did this. Well, you can come check me out here. So there's other ways of getting yourself in places where they can come see you, and we'll be discussing that in other episodes. This isn't the only time you'll hear us.
That's right. Much more to say on that topic for sure.
Yes. So we're going to leave it there. Episode 1, thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining me. My name is Thomasina Winslow.
And I'm Hilary Schrauf.
And we will see you next time.
See you next time.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. This podcast is a part of the STEAM project. STEAM, Strength Through Expressive Arts Mentoring, is a registered trademark and a subdivision of Winslow Productions.